for Black Girl Nerds.
Hi, Atkins.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
You know, we're going to talk about Hightown. Your character is a frightening, frightening man. So contrary to the image that I'm seeing now, he's a very, very frightening now. But before we talk about that, I just wanted to check in with you, see how you are feeling. We are in a crossroads in our country right now. We are finally seeing greater focus on what's happening in the Black community and policing. So I wanted to check in with you and see how you're feeling and your thoughts of what you're seeing out in the media and if we're heading in the right direction.
I have, since this whole thing began, I've been trying to, gather my thoughts about it and process all the feelings that I'm feeling about it. I'm seeing a lot of things that give me hope for the future, a lot of things that are positive. And I think there's a lot of good work being done. I feel like there's a lot more engagement that's happened. And this time around, I say this time around because the thing that's kind of that's troubling is this, in a way, feels like it's cyclical. Like this happens, we have someone whose life is taken unjustly, a Black person, Black man, in this case. And there's outrage and people take to the streets. And then next thing you know, it dies down and we wait for the next one or the next couple because it's never just one. Right. And this feels different, but my hope is that the energy of this moment is transferred into real change and things that are really moving the needle. I hope that people keep this up and continue and bring it to the polls because we need it there too. I just hope that the engagement stays and people continue to keep it at this level. I don't want to, in a couple months, look back and it's back to business as usual and we're kind of just waiting for the next moment to happen. We have to, we can't keep doing this, Right. Yeah, it's a lot of different things and I'm still working through it. But I am optimistic about the future and I think that we are definitely seeing something different this time around. And I just hope my wishes for it come true and that, we can be looking at a different scenario next time, that we can be moving towards a different and better country. A country where, me as a Black man, I can feel safe to go out and do everyday things and not be concerned that, by doing stuff that everybody should have the freedom and right to do, that I could find myself losing my life. I have a daughter, I have another daughter on the way, and I worry for them. And it's funny, I was talking to somebody the other day, I was like, I look at them and it brings me so much joy, but also so much terror at the same time. Right. Because, or at least my daughter, not my one daughter who's born, but I look at her and I think she doesn't know anything about this. She doesn't know anything about like how crazy the world is and all the awful things that could potentially be waiting for her as a Black woman, as a biracial woman, as a woman. I'm looking at it and I just think I can't protect her from it. Right now she's here at home and she doesn't know anything and I wish I could have it just like this for her and it not change. And I know that I can't. And so that's why I say when I look at her, I get so much joy, but also I get so much fear and thinking that somewhere on down the line when she leaves the house, I'm going to have to worry about her and that she's also having to worry about me when I leave, or her uncle or her father or her grandfather, and it's just a hard, it wears you down just constantly playing in the background. No matter what happens, this is constantly that program that's constantly running, is that fear and that, that anxiety of, every little moment. So that's been different. For me this time, it's been different. My daughter's only just over a year old. Oh, wow. So when this has happened before, I've been primarily concerned for myself, for the other men in my family, and the other women in my family as well. But now having a daughter, it's just added a whole other depth of fear and concern and motivation, you know? So, and I mean,
No,
went off on a thing with that, but
no, I appreciate that greatly, because
yeah,
we are, for for all intents and purposes, in a pandemic.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we're all
yeah.
supposedly at home, and so
Mhm.
trying to manage those feelings of isolation
Yeah,
while wanting to be active and be a voice in the community and watch what's happening and want to be supportive, but you have to worry about your health. It's a lot to process. I appreciate your
absolutely.
candor and even
Mhm.
saying all those things, because they're real concerns for you and other people who are going to watch this, who have small children,
Mhm.
adult children, and so forth. So
Yeah,
no, please, I appreciate the candor greatly.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I have been supporting some causes. I would encourage people to support the Bail Project and also the Campaign Zero. I
mhm.
think the work that they're doing is very important. That's just two that I personally have been donating to and supporting. But I mean, I know there's tons of others out there, but those are two that I have given to, and I would encourage others to as well.
Yeah, I did see that you tweeted about that. So
Mhm.
for those who are going to watch, please follow Atkins and support those projects, because they're benefiting people who are doing some of the heavy lifting for us and are out there on the front lines, while a lot of people are in the comfort of their homes,
Mhm.
just watching real people getting tear gassed and rubber bullets and all sort. Rubber bullets are kind of like the new dog these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of new dogs these days. It seems like, yeah, it's pretty terrifying some of the stuff that I'm seeing out there, and yeah, and I can't say for myself because I'm not out there. You know,
Right.
I've been still in the quarantine, although you know I'm here in Georgia where things have been opened up pretty wide.
Right.
But for the health of my family, I've been trying to maintain that. But yeah, a lot of the things that I'm seeing are, like I said, a lot of it is very positive. I'm very happy, but I'm also seeing a lot of things uh, that are, that physically are, disturbing me, making me sick to see the way that people are being treated, especially people who are just out there peacefully gathering and trying to protest. And, the response has been uh, heavy-handed to say the least. There's been
Absolutely.
some very aggressive response to those people who are just trying to protest peacefully, and that's very unfortunate to see.
Which is their constitutional right. Let's
Absolutely.
forget, at the end of the day, it is a constitutional right to make your voice heard and to
Hmm.
protest, and what this country is founded on,
Hmm.
that we all should be able to protest and make our voices heard.
Absolutely.
Now, pivoting over into Hightown. So I watched the first 3 episodes back to back to back.
Hmm.
And your character is, like I said, a very frightening man. And the show wastes no time getting started. Within the first 3 to 5 minutes of the show, you are right there in the front line. Since it's already going, won't be a spoiler for folks who are watching the show. You just come out and boom,
Yeah.
and we're off and running. What has that experience like, filming this character? Tell us about Osito. Is Osito Haitian or Dominican? Because everyone likes to keep saying, hey, he's Haitian or Dominican, or say he's Sam.
Um,
What is Osito Haitian? And talk to us about the experience of filming Hightown.
yeah. Sorry, my just kind of dipped out here.
Oh, that's okay. We're all family here.
Yeah, the experience has been it's been great. It's been this is a project that's been very different from me from other characters that I've portrayed. So that initially really drew me to this project. When I saw that, I've never really played a villain or anybody nearly as dark as he is.
Right.
So as an actor, that's the kind of thing that you jump for. You want that opportunity to be able to stretch and um, really get to play and show your skills and that sort of thing. And that was definitely this for me. But also, once I got into it and started reading the story, and I was like, it's just so well written and so well done. And but Osito, yeah, he initially, when I got the audition, he was just Dominican.
Mhm.
And I did the audition, went through the process, and when I found out that I got the role, Rebecca Cutter, who's the creator of the show, called me to kind of, talk to me about, what she had in mind and that sort of thing. And also just to congratulate me on, being, given the role. And she asked me if I spoke any Spanish, and I was like, not more than what I learned in high school. So, but I was like, but I am Haitian, and Haiti and Dominican Republic are on the same island.
Right.
So I was talking to her, and I was like, it wouldn't be far fetched. I thought that, for him to be of both, and essentially that's what it is. He is both Haitian and Dominican.
Oh, okay.
When you hear Rhea talk about it, or they're trying to figure it out, they don't know, but he is both Haitian and Dominican descent. So, and I was like, I feel like for me, that'll give me another layer of depth to get in there, and something that really matters to me, like as far as representation, being able to play a character that was Haitian. And the tough thing about it is that I want to be able to see, as an actor, I want to see more roles and more characters that are Haitian, and I want to see more positive and more different and diverse roles. So with Osito being a bad guy, which would probably classify as a negative presentation, that was kind of a thing that I had to think about for a second when taking the role. But when I looked at the overall picture, where you have Alan Santil, who's also a Haitian character, and he is the complete opposite, such a positive character, a family man, and a cop who's paired up with Ray, who's doing the wrong thing. Ray is trying to do, or excuse me, Alan finds himself trying to be the opposite of that, trying to do things by the book. So I was like, you have both sides of it. You don't have just the one. And I really appreciated that as well. So, but yeah, Osito is, like I said, he is a very dark character, and getting ready for the role was different from any other role I'd ever had to prepare for. It's just a whole different kind of process, and I had a lot of fun doing that. But there was a lot of things where I was just like, man, that was a difficult place to go to. But I'll also say, sorry, yeah.
No, I said I can imagine.
Yeah. But also, like a lot of people say, being the bad guy, playing a bad guy it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun playing the role and getting ready for it.
Mm-hmm. What I also greatly appreciate that the fact that it is a Haitian in a show, because who you don't really turn on a show. The last time I can defend it, forgive me, and I'm sure there have been other shows that have had Haitian characters. People, I'm over 40, people will think of like The Serpent and the Rainbow and like all those old school movies when you think of Haitians and things. So it's refreshing to see that there's other people out there besides our little microcosm in the United States, and other people who reside here. In addition to where Osito's at as a character, as a drug dealer, is shining the light of another big epidemic that's happening in this country, the opioid crisis, and how it really is festering in these small kind of off communities, in these sleepy towns and things that you wouldn't expect. Did you know a whole lot about the opioid epidemic when you took the role? And was any of this storytelling surprising or confirmed things you knew? What was that like for you?
I had some knowledge about the epidemic, the opioid epidemic. I did not know that it was to the level that it was happening in Cape Cod. I'd had some knowledge about it in the rest of the country. I mean, because it's an epidemic, it's that's the one thing. It's not unique to Cape Cod. It's happening everywhere, all over the country. And you're right, it is in a lot of these smaller towns. I mean, in sleepier places that I think that when you have poverty, these type of things come hand in hand with that. Right. So but that's something I didn't expect from Cape Cod. I'd always had this, and I think most people have an image of it as kind of this like vacation destination, like you think of the Kennedys, you don't think of, or you think of wealth and affluence, you don't think of poverty or, drugs or anything like that. But in Cape Cod, especially in Provincetown, in that area, there's very much kind of like a seasonal appearance of people. During this season, that's when tourists show up. But after that, things kind of shut down and go back, and the locals, the people who are regularly there, there's it's like it changes, and there is that that issue of the opioid epidemic really hitting hard. You know, like once the tourists go away, I guess there's a lot of job loss and that sort of thing, and so I think there's a spike during that time. But that was the one thing that kind of surprised me about it, is I wasn't aware of it in that particular community. And especially because that's just not what I thought of when I thought of that place. So, and that also added another layer of interest to me, just being like, wow, it's just like, that's like going to Disney World and they're telling you there's a, you know, there's an epidemic of, you know, opioids breaking out of Disney World. You're like, I would have never imagined that that was a thing there. So that was one of the things in researching and kind of through the process that were discoveries about the show. And there's a lot of different things that I kind of picked up along the way and prior to working on this project.
So viewers are now into episode 3, and we're kind of seeing where the story's going, where we have a murder that has taken place that you are a little bit involved with, so to say. We have a kind of a rogue fishboat cop, as they refer to her, who's doing her own investigating to find out what happened. You've got a good cop and a kind of a gray area cop. We aren't too sure what's going on with him. A kingpin in jail. There's so many storylines converging at once. Can you give us one spoiler without context from somewhere in the city? Just completely without context.
I don't want to give too much away, but I gotta tell you that episode 5, things really kind of come to a head in episode 5. So that I'd be looking forward to that one. Knowing what I know, I would be very, very excited about where the story takes you there. And that's all I want to give away.
That is perfect. Well, Atkins, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm enjoying you. You are so menacing without it being so heavy-handed. And I think that is, to me, more frightening than someone coming through, you know, shooting guns or something. There's, you know, it's that quiet kind of scary, which is because you just don't know what you're going to get. And then, you know, you just don't look like a scary man. You look like a very nice, kind man that comes over for brunch and brings his baby.
Well, yeah, Atkins is very different from Osito, but and that's another thing that I thought was really cool, is that you kind of find that he's not just this evil guy. You know, there's definitely some layers and there's dimension to him, and he's a full person. There's gray, there's good, there's bad. He has heart, and you'll also see more of that as the show goes on too. So, but yes, Atkins is definitely the guy that comes to brunch with his daughter and is a very pleasant character.
And hey, we might find out more about Osito in season 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we might find out and see what happens.
We'll see.
Okay, we never know. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time greatly. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Love on your babies and your lady and the baby that's coming, and look forward to seeing the rest of the season.
You as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can do it again.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
You have a good one. Bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.